Hello, this is Mark from Productive Computing and Productive Computing University. You are about to watch a selected JSON lesson from our free course called JSON Fundamentals for FileMaker Developers. Knowing how to create, parse, and manipulate JSON is essential in order to integrate FileMaker with the world of APIs, Claris Connect, artificial intelligence, and more. In this complete course, we'll cover everything you need to know about JSON from the perspective of a Claris FileMaker Pro developer. We're making this course available for free because we feel it's an important and essential building block for you to understand in order to advance your skills to the next level. And once you learn how to manipulate JSON formatted text, you are that much closer to accomplishing your first API integration in your own FileMaker apps. And like all our other courses at Productive Computing University, this course comes complete with downloadable FileMaker files for you to use and follow along with. These downloadable files are available directly in selected lessons inside the course. There's a link in the description to enroll in this free course called JSON Fundamentals for FileMaker Developers at productivecomputinguniversity.com. Okay, now let's dive into the lesson. In this lesson, we learn how to create our first JSON object using a single script step. So I'll create a brand new database file here in FileMaker. Create a blank database. I'll put it on my desktop. I'll call it contacts. And we start with our first table, contacts, and our starting fields. I'll create a field for name as a text field, company as a text field, age as a number field, and mailing list as a number field, which will end up being boolean. We'll put a 0 for false and 1 for true. Okay, this is a great start to our system. There are our fields. The goal here is to create JSON text representing this one record with these fields. I like to start learning new functions by going into the data viewer first, and you can experiment with Playground. Data viewer is not available to me because this is a brand new installation of FileMaker, so I'll go to the preferences and click Use Advanced Tools, and then close and open the file again so that I have those advanced tools and data viewer is at my fingertips. So Tools, Data Viewer. Once in the data viewer, we can go click Watch, and we'll start a new expression by clicking this plus symbol. And the JSON functions will be found here. Let me just put in JSON, and you can see all the different JSON functions available to me as of this recording. The one we're working on for the next several lessons will be the JSON set element. This is a function that allows you to create JSON using a built-in function, and there's 4 parameters. The first parameter here indicates if we want to merge or add JSON elements to an existing set of JSON. In this case, we'll put double quotes for blank. We're starting at the beginning. Then the next parameter is key or index or path. This will make more sense as we progress through the course. For now, we'll just consider this the key, which will be equivalent to the field, or more specifically, the field name. So I'll put in name in quotes, and that will represent this field here. Then the value, that's fairly straightforward because we want the value from our system itself. So I'll double click the name field, and that'll put in the value. And then the type will be specific to the type of JSON we're creating. To get a full list of types, you can select this function here and then click on the question mark. That will bring you right into the help file for this function. And right here, you can see the different types. You can specify the type as a simple number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 0, or you can spell it out with a text string, JSON number, JSON object, and so forth. For the purposes of learning, we will be spelling this out each and every time so that we don't have to go back here and determine what was 1, what was 3, what was 4. We'll always see it very visually through the word string, number, object, and so forth. So you can definitely have this handy when you reference these functions, especially for the first time. So this will be a JSON string. So I'll just type JSON string. And notice how I'm putting all caps just to make it easy for me to type. And notice that there's no quotes here because this is a reserved word that means something to the function, so I don't have to put it in quotes. Notice our result already has some information here. We have the field name and no data. So I'll click Monitor, and then we'll actually fill this record in with some data. And we will say that I am on the mailing list, and that'll be indicated with 1. So now when I double click this and go back into that function, I can see that I've created my first JSON object. The object is encapsulated here within these curly brackets. Here's the field name, then a colon, and then the string, which is the actual value of that. So this would be the key, and this is the value. Simple enough. But how do I include multiple values? Well, these functions are really smart and very powerful. They allow you to include multiple fields in the same function. It works in a similar manner to other functions in FileMaker, such as the substitute function. So the part that is unique with each field will be these 3 pieces of information: the key, the value, and the type. So I'm going to put a couple of returns here and put a left bracket and a right bracket. Then I'll include a semicolon and push return a few times. This is going to be my first field, and then I can just copy that and paste it here. This will be my second field. So I'll put this as the company. Then I can simply do this to include the company field. That will also be a string. Put my cursor here and paste again. This time we're putting the age. We'll pull from the field age. And this could be a string, but it'll be better represented as a number. Okay, and then we'll do the mailing list as our last piece of information here. Okay, and that will be a JSON boolean. All right, since this is the last field, I'll remove that last semicolon. And voila, we have our JSON representing multiple fields here in this single record. Now notice that it resorts them, because the way these functions work is that they'll resort by key. So A for age, C for company, M for mailing list, N for name. Now this is a single record, and it's not too hard to read this and see where the distinct field names are. However, it will be even easier when I add some formatting. So we'll call upon another JSON function called JSON format elements. And we'll have this as the first function, and then we'll make sure that we capture all of the set element information, and then just close it with a right paren. And that will format the JSON in a much more readable way, where we can see the fields each on their own line: age 54, company, mailing list, and name. Okay, so now that I have this information, I'm going to copy this whole expression, and we'll put it in a script so that I can put a button here and make this come to life. So I'll go into Script Workspace, create a new script, and I'll call it Single Step JSON. And the field doesn't exist yet, but I want to put all this JSON in a brand new field here in my system. So I'll click Manage Database from the dropdown, and I'll put JSON as a text field, just so we can visually see the results. So I'll set the field JSON to this entire expression here, this calculation, which formats the elements and sets all the fields in this one record. Okay, so there's my script. Simple set field. And we'll go into layout mode and put a button on here so we can see. I'll say JSON single script step. Perform the script, single step JSON. Okay, and then we'll just make the button look a little bit more like a button. So to do that, I click on the theme here, and I'll just say primary. And then we'll make this button a little wider so we can read it. And then we'll add the JSON field to the layout down here. This will be the end result of our work. Go back to browse mode and push the button. There. So now you have a very simple to use demonstration of how to create basic JSON representing multiple fields and multiple types. We have 3 different types represented: a text type, a number type, and a boolean type. Notice how the results of that boolean is true, not in quotes. If this mailing list was something different, like a 0, meaning I'm not on the mailing list, and I now execute that, it'll put false. So it's interpreting 0 and non-numbers as false, and it's interpreting any other number, if I put a 5 in here, as true. All right, so you can download this file and explore this. Make sure you have a handle on creating basic JSON using the JSON set element script step. Thanks for joining us on this lesson. To enroll in the free complete course, click on the link in the description or visit productivecomputinguniversity.com, where you'll find both free and paid courses on today's most important topics related to the Claris FileMaker platform.